In the gray stillness before dawn, the sea sleeps under a thick blanket of mist. But on the deck of the Titan Sea, there is no sleep, only silence, breath, and steel. Cold wind lashes the faces of men who've done this so many times, yet never with less reverence. Their boots thud dully on wet metal. Their gloved hands check cables, harpoons, and winches in practiced rhythm. Salt clings to every surface like dried blood. Somewhere below the surface, in the black folds of the North Atlantic, something waits. The fishermen don't speak. They don't need to. In this world, every sound is measured. The hum of the engine, the creak of rigging, the low groan of metal as the boat leans into the current. These are the hymns of their church. And beneath them, in water colder than bone, giants stir. Titans with eyes like voids and muscles shaped by centuries of survival. The men of the Titan Sea don't come to fish. They come to confront something older than myth, something with teeth and silence. This is not work. It is a ritual, one that begins with breath and ends sometimes with blood. As the sun begins to rise, staining the sky with rusted orange, the first steel hook lowers into the abyss, and the sea, silent and vast, listens. The deck shudders as the massive rig lowers its offering. A thick steel cable, slick with seawater and oil, unwinds from the drum like the tail of a serpent, plunging meter by meter into the swallowing dark. Below, visibility fades fast. 10 meters, then nothing, only black. The abyss does not reflect light, it devours it. Sonar pulses echo faintly, bouncing off the unseen. Somewhere down there, shadows shift. The bait sinks deeper still, trailing scent and silence, stirring the ancient instincts of things that do not fear. Above, the men wait. Their breath fogs the air. Faces wrapped in wool and lined with windburn watch the water with quiet reverence. They are not hunting, they are challenging. This isn't a job. It's a vow repeated with every voyage, steel against scale, bone against brute. The ship creaks like an old warrior stretching before battle. Each man knows the rules. No slack on the line, no delay on the harpoon, no second chances, and always, always watch the water. Because in the deep, nothing announces its arrival. It just pulls. And when it does, the deck becomes a battlefield, and survival becomes scripture. The line keeps falling, as if there's no end. But everyone on board knows something waits at the bottom. Something that bites back. It happens without warning, a sudden, violent jolt that shudders through the steel backbone of the Titan Sea. The line whips taut with a metallic scream, and the deck erupts into motion. Men lunge for their stations, boots skidding across the slick surface. "Heave!" someone shouts, but the command is swallowed by the roar of the wind and the low rumble of the winch straining under pressure. Whatever's taken, the bait is no ordinary fish. The line pulses like a heartbeat, alive and furious. The drum whines as it tries to hold the beast, but already it's slipping meter by meter of cable, disappearing into the abyss. A veteran with salt-bleached eyebrows braces against the railing, eyes locked on the trembling line. "She's sounding," he growls. The creature is diving deep and hard. The tension tightens to the brink, every second threatening to snap a cable, tear flesh, or capsize the ship. Muscles burn, jaws clench. No one breathes. This is the moment where everything changes from anticipation to confrontation. Down below, the monster pulls as if to drag the ship and the men with it into its world, a place where light dies, and only the strong return. The fight has begun. The surface erupts first a tremor, then a roar. A dorsal fin, jagged and black, slices through the waves like a blade. The cable winds. Water blasts skyward as something immense fights back. "Shark!" someone yells. But it's already clear this isn't a fish. It's a force, a living avalanche of muscle and instinct. The men spring into motion. One braces the winch. Another grips the harpoon with both hands, knuckles white beneath rubber gloves. The creature thrashes, the tail smashing the surface into chaos. Columns of seawater rise, towering over the rails like crashing walls. The sea has become a battlefield. The deck rocks beneath their boots. Salt spray blinds their eyes. Shouts are torn from their throats, not in fear, but in battle cry. Then steel meets flesh. The harpoon whistles through the storm, slamming deep into the shark's side. A sickening thud. The line jerks violently, Blood blooms like smoke in the waves. The beast convulses, its body turning in wide arcs. The crew holds on, bodies pitched forward, muscles shaking. One wrong move, and they'll be yanked overboard into the creature's world. But they don't let go, because this is what they came for. Not just the catch, but the confrontation. The shark twists again, a massive spiral of fury and panic, slamming its tail against the hull with a thunderous crack. The impact ripples through the ship, rattling metal, shaking knees. One of the younger deckhands slips, boots scraping, arms flailing, but a crewmate grabs him just in time, yanking him back from the edge of the rail. The line goes slack for half a breath, then tightens like a vice. The winch howls. The shark dives, dragging the ship's bow forward. Spray lashes their faces like glass. Don't let him sound again, the captain roars, voice hoarse from salt and strain. They dig in, bodies leaning as one, hearts hammering in their chests. The air is thick with sweat and sea, fear and fire. The beast is wounded now, its blood churning the waves into pink foam, but it fights on with deathless rage. Every second is a gamble. Every pull could snap the cable or rip the harpoon loose. A second spear is readied. The harpooner waits, watching the shark's shadow circle beneath the surface like a ghost. Timing is everything. One breath, one flash of silver, then release. Another strike. Another scream from the deep. The tide is shifting, but no one relaxes. Not yet. Just as the shark's fury begins to wane, the sea changes, not with sound, but with silence. A hush, unnatural and heavy, settles over the water. The men freeze. Even the wounded shark seems to sense it, writhing less, pulled into some deeper current. Then, from the fog-streaked distance, something rises. A mountain of flesh, a back as wide as the deck. A whale. Its presence is not sudden, it is inevitable. Like a shadow cast over the soul. Slow, towering, indifferent. The crew stares, mouths open, eyes wide. The sea around the whale pulses, humming with something ancient. Then impact. A harpoon, thrown too soon or too late, slams into its flank. For a moment, the world holds its breath. Then chaos explodes. The whale bucks, its massive body twisting with godlike force. A wave, tall as a house, crashes onto the deck. Men stumble. The crane groans under strain. The cable screams as the beast begins to dive, dragging everything with it. The ship lurches starboard. Buckets fly. Gear tumbles. Cut the line. Someone shouts, but it's too late. This is no fish. This is the sea itself, awakened and enraged. And now, it has them. The ocean roars like a wounded beast. The whale dives again, and with it, the ship lurches forward, pulled by sheer brute force. Steel moans. The crane swings violently on its axis. A toolbox crashes across the deck. Men grip whatever they can, railings, ropes, each other, as the Titan sea is dragged toward the unknown. Brace the stern, someone yells, but the sound is swallowed by the wind. Water slams into the hull like fists. A wave breaks over the deck, sweeping a crate toward the winch. The cables groan, stretched to their limits, twitching like muscles under stress. The harpoon lines shiver, a second too much pressure, and they'll snap like piano wire. Below, the Leviathan pulls, not with desperation, but with dignity. It is not panicked, it is punishing. Men scramble, a harpoon gun jams, another misfires. Salt blinds their eyes. Someone slips, but no one has time to help. The sea is no longer a setting, it is a character. Enraged and godlike. The monster breaching, the Titan sea tipping. The war between man and ocean has reached its crescendo. And in that chaos, soaked, bleeding, eyes wide with fear and fury, they don't retreat. They reload. Then, like the turning of a page, the sea begins to still not calm, but waiting. The whale surfaces again, wounded, a great mass of muscle and breath. Steam bursts from its blowhole like a war horn in the mist. Blood streaks down its flank in wide crimson trails. The crew moves with deadly precision now. There's no yelling, no panic, only rhythm. One man swings the final harpoon into place, its steel glinting against the bruised sky. Another locks the cable. The captain gives a silent nod. The harpoon fires. Time seems to slow as it arcs through the air, striking deep. The whale gives a final lurch, a sound, not quite a scream, but not silence either. It rolls, massive body twisting, tail slamming the surface one last time. Then it sinks, slowly, surrendering to the black. The winch engages. The steel cable groans as the crane lifts. Water pours from the beast's body in streams. Mist coils around it like breath from the underworld. No one cheers. There is only the sound of boots moving, winch turning, wind blowing through the rails. The victory is not loud, it is heavy, earned, and carried in their backs, their fingers, their eyes. Below deck, the world changes. No longer the chaos of the hunt, but the cold, mechanical rhythm of aftermath. Here, the catch becomes weight. Weight becomes numbers, and numbers become survival. The crane lowers the carcass with a hiss of hydraulics. Water pours across the grated floor. A crew member calls out the weight, 2,000 kilos of cod, consistent with previous haul. His voice is flat, routine, but his hands tremble slightly. The fish are lined up, silver bodies glistening under fluorescent lights, eyes wide and glassy, as if still watching the sea they left behind. Blades flash, ice crunches. The air is sharp with blood and brine. The men work quickly, their movements mechanical yet reverent. This is not a slaughterhouse, it is a temple of necessity. The floor shakes as another crate drops. Fish are sorted, weighed, packed. No wasted motion, no wasted breath. Outside, the ocean still claws at the hull, but in here, the fight has shifted.
Okay, I think that's it.
It's no longer man versus monster. It's man versus time. Speed is survival. Efficiency is everything. Because the sea gives, but never gently, and it always waits to take again. The deck is slick once more. Not from panic, but preparation. Harpoons are cleaned and reloaded. Cables rethreaded. Hooks sharpened to surgical edges. No words pass between the crew. They don't need them. Every man knows what comes next. The ocean does not give rest. It demands rhythm.
No words
As
pass
one
between
haul
the
is
crew.
processed, another
don't need them.
begins. The sonar pings again soft. Echoing taps across the void. Below, shadows return.
Every man knows what comes
Swordfish.
next.
Tuna. Another
The ocean
massive
does not give
silhouette
rest.
flickers just
As
beyond
one haul is
range.
processed,
The sea
another
resets the
begins.
board.
The sonar
ritual
pings
resumes.
again.
A second line goes out, then a third. The hooks descend into the dark
Below,
like whispered
shadows
prayers.
return.
On cue,
Swordfish.
the tension
Tuna.
returns. This
Another
time it's a
massive silhouette
swordfish,
flickers.
sleek,
The sea
fast,
resets the
furious. It breaches
The
with a
ritual
flash of
resumes.
steel, slicing the air like a living
second line
blade.
goes out.
The crew reacts instantly. Harpoon, hook, line,
The hooks
blood,
descend
again.
into the dark,
A new battle begins.
like whispered
And they meet it
prayer.
without flinch, without pause.
This time it's a
Not because they
swordfish.
are fearless, but
Sleek,
because fear is part of the job.
furious.
They wear it like salt on their skin. Every strike, every cry,
The crew
every
reacts
splash of blood
instantly.
across the rails,
Harpoon,
it's all part of the
hook,
same song.
line,
A song written in
blood.
steel and salt,
A new
sung to the
battle
rhythm
begins.
of survival. The last of the catch is hauled in, its silver body twitching weakly as it hits the deck. Then stillness. No cheers, no claps on the back. Just the wind threading between the steel rails and the deep, tired breath of men who have given everything. Gloves hang limp from raw fingers. Eyes blink slowly, fogged by salt and exhaustion. A knife clinks against metal, dropped absent-mindedly. The sea, as if sensing the pause, softens its roar into a hush. No engine growls, no birds call. Even the waves seem to tiptoe. There is a reverence in this silence, one that only those who've wrestled with giants can understand. They do not speak of the battles, the near deaths, or the weight of victory. They carry it instead in their shoulders, in the burn of their lungs, in the red welts on their arms from snapped lines. It is not bravado that binds them, but brotherhood. A communion forged not by words, but by water and wind. And in this moment, that's enough, because tomorrow the sea will rise again, and so will they. No promises, no fear, just readiness. The sun sinks low, bleeding orange across the vast Atlantic. Shadows stretch long across the deck of the Titan sea, where the day's war has finally ended. The glow of sunset bathes the ship's steel hull in firelight, reflecting in puddles of brine and blood. The sea has quieted, no longer roaring but murmuring, as if remembering. On the deck, the giants lie still. Swordfish, sharks, tuna, Their glistening forms, once violent and defiant, now shimmer with a strange dignity beneath the mist. Their scales catch the last light like coins scattered at the bottom of a wishing well. Between them, the fishermen move slowly, like ghosts returning to themselves. Their soaked jackets cling to tired shoulders. Every step echoes the fatigue of the hunt. Ice is shoveled into crates. Nets are folded with care. A gloved hand brushes the rail, leaving a streak of red that dries as the air cools. Somewhere deep in the hold, the winch gives a final groan and falls silent. The battle is over for now, and though the sea is calm, the men know better than to trust its stillness. The silence isn't peace, it's a pause, and the ocean, like a sleeping animal, is simply waiting. Under the fading sky, their silhouettes blur against the mist, stooped, slow, unspoken. The men of the Titan Sea do not call themselves brave. They don't need to. Their courage is not loud or theatrical. It is found in the fingers still gripping rope after 10 hours of war, in the backs hunched over crates of steel and ice, in the eyes that scan the horizon, not for beauty, but for what comes next. They've been bruised, soaked, nearly broken, and yet they prepare again. The youngest deckhand, no older than 20, runs a cloth over the harpoon shaft, hands trembling from the cold, jaw clenched from pride. Nearby, an older man tightens a bolt without looking, more instinct than thought. No words pass between them. Their language is built of shared strain, of near misses, of quiet nods. There are no medals here, only scars, only stories carved into muscle and bone. And yet, none of them would trade this life, because out here, beneath the wide-bellied sky and the endless pull of the deep, they are more than fishermen. They are keepers of a tradition, warriors of an ancient war. Even as the last crate is sealed
Tomorrow,
and the final hook
begins
hung,
again.
the sea calls again, not
The
with
hooks will
thunder
be
or
sharpened
crash,
anew.
but with certainty. The men feel it in their bone. The silence that lingers tonight is not rest, it is warning. Tomorrow, it begins again. The hooks will be sharpened anew, the steel lines inspected for frays, harpoons checked for balance, diesel tanks topped. These aren't just preparations, they are rites. Because out here, the ocean does not forget. It does not grant trophies without demand. Each day, it erases what came before. You may have conquered giants today, but tomorrow, you begin again small, vulnerable, unproven. And still, they will return. Not for glory, not even just for livelihood, but because this life, the war with the sea, has woven itself into their flesh. On land, they are strangers. Out here, they are whole. The sea is their test, their teacher, their rival, and sometimes, if only briefly, their companion. So even as the Titan Sea drifts in place, lights dimmed, hatches sealed, every man aboard knows the truth. When the sun rises, they will answer again, because the sea waits for no one. Night falls like a curtain, thick and complete. The Titan Sea drifts under the stars, a lone heartbeat in the vast emptiness. Its yellow deck lights glow through the mist like the eyes of a beast too stubborn to sleep. Below, the engines hum in quiet meditation. Above, the wind moves gently, carrying with it the memory of thunder, of blood, of victory hard won. The giants caught today, sharks, swordfish. The whale lie still in their icy beds, but they are more than meat. They are testaments to will, to endurance, to the strange brotherhood between man and the unknown. The scratches on the hull, the torn gloves, the bent harpoon shafts, they are not damage. They are symbols, proof that men dared to challenge the deep and live to tell of it. Tomorrow, perhaps, the sea will win. It often does. But tonight, the Titan Sea stands undefeated, and those aboard, weathered, worn, but unbroken, know they are part of something larger than the tide. They are not just hunters. They are legends, carved in salt and steel, written in the silence between the waves. The ocean is their adversary and their home.